Welcome back. That's right. We're still doing this. I don't care how sad it gets. Okay, maybe I care a little bit. So the last time I made a video, I talked a little bit about Rings of Power and how I feel about that. And now that the show has finally ended, you probably want to hear what my thoughts are. So anyway, let's talk about horror movies. I've been watching a lot of horror movies for Halloween. And eventually I'm going to make a video talking about a lot of the good ones. But right now I want to talk about a little 80s slasher franchise called Friday the 13th. And I've seen every one of them except Jason X. And to recommend, if you're interested in watching any of them, watch part 4 and watch part 7. If you want to go any further than that, that is your prerogative. But anyway, mainly what I'm doing with this video is I've had this idea basically for a Friday the 13th reboot for a long time, and I really want to just get it out of my head. So right now you're saying, but Spencer, why don't you just write a script and then break into the CEO of Paramount's house and force him to make it? That's insane. I thought about it, but I'm not going to do that. Also, there's a little problem with the rights to the Friday the 13th franchise. It's chopped up to bits, very ironically. So we will probably not get a Friday the 13th reboot ever again. I hear rumblings on the internet of it possibly happening, but I'll believe it when I see it. So yeah, I just wanted to get this Friday the 13th movie idea out into the world, and then I can move on with my life. Sure, yeah. What are you talking about? All right, anyway. So, basically, my idea is I'm paying homage, definitely not ripping off, a certain 90s action horror movie with Bruce Lee's son. It's the title is a certain bird. It's the Raven. Anyway, so my idea is a little bit. It's kind of Jason gets ultimate revenge. He's got some powers. I've a little bit of powers, but let's just get into it, okay? So it's the late 90s. What a wonderful time. The late 90s, and we open on a shot of a little boy's hands playing with a caterpillar on a wooden bridge. And we slowly pan out. We don't see his face, but this is young Jason Voorhees, maybe around 10 years old, playing with a little caterpillar, very innocent. We don't see his deformity yet. He's a little deformed. And then we cut away and we see there's a bunch of kids, probably around 7 or 8, playing on this wooden bridge that's above a very tall, very big river. And the other kids they're unattended, and they're throwing stuff off of the bridge, laughing, having a good time. And then we cut over to a couple of camp counselors doing it against a tree. Maybe not fully doing it, maybe just making out, but you know, we don't hear them. They don't say anything. They're just making out, doing it against a tree. And then we know what's going on. We have unattended kids. And the next thing we see is we cut back to Jason and his caterpillar. And the main bully stomps it. And Jason freaks out. He starts screaming and flailing and coming at the bully. But the bully is much stronger and bigger. And he, pushes Jason back against the bridge. And lo and behold, there's one voice of reason, a young girl who is chanting, "Please, no, don't do this. No, don't fight." And anyway, the bully pushes Jason off the bridge. And he falls, splash. The kids scream. The counselors, oh my gosh. And then we cut away, and that's our first scene. Young Jason smashing into rocks in these rapids, heavy rapids. He is, flailing. He's about to drown, and then it cuts to black again. We're gonna do a lot of cuts to black, but then we see him on the shore. He doesn't seem to be breathing. And then he is come upon by older homeless couple living in a shack, and immediately he water shoots up out of his mouth. He is revived, and the homeless people not being super nice to him. They're kind of treating him oh, you're a little ugly boy, blah blah blah. And I'm realizing I don't think I can get through this. I think I'm gonna quit. Nope, persevering. Jason springs up. It's like he is a new found, changed, life in him. And he springs up and he strangles the homeless man. While the woman, freaks out, he's strangling them. And this little 10-year-old boy snaps this old man's neck. And then the woman, she starts beating him. Little Jason grabs a rock, bash, right in her face. And he drags them into the water, and he starts living in this little shack that they have. And so this is, we've begun. We are in the meat of this movie. Now we're cutting to a police station. Exterior police station. Now we're in an interrogation room where we see Jason Voorhees' mother. And I don't like to say the word gypsy, but she's a gypsy. She's kind of a gypsy, and the cops are like, well, we're looking for him. There's two cops talking to her. We're looking for your son, ma'am, and she's freaking out. She's pissed. And then all of a sudden, she clutches an amulet, a necklace, amulet, pendant, whatever, around her neck, and she starts chanting. And you realize she is putting a curse on this town. She is cursing this town, and she's, screaming. It's very visceral, and all of a sudden, the main cop pulls out his gun, shoots her in the head. And the other cop is like, what the fuck did you just do? And the cop says, look, we were never going to find that boy's body, and I'm not implicating my kid. One of his kids is the bully. One of the kids is his son. And you know what? I checked up on this woman. She nobody knows who she is. It'll be like she never came to this town. Her and her son will never be, asked about ever again. So that's that. Continuing, we cut back to young Jason hanging out at this shack. He has now bandaged his face. He doesn't like the way he looks. So now he's kind of bandage face Jason, not baghead Jason yet. We're going to get to the hockey mask eventually, but we got to get there. So he's just hanging out in nature, and it's kind of nice. And I got to step back and just let you know, yes, the curse that his mother put on the town is what revived him. And it's also giving him strength. He's growing up faster. And okay, here come the powers. He can kind of talk to animals a little bit. He can kind of control animals a little bit. I know. This is going to be worth it. I promise. So he's hanging out with animals. He lets a snake bite him, but it doesn't do anything, and he's just hanging out with snakes and alligators. And this is kind of Louisiana adjacent, maybe Mississippi. We're moving away. It's for the plot. Anyway, so we're hanging out with him, and then he starts to hear his mother's voice in his head. Oh boy, we've been hanging out for like 4 or 5 years. He's just been chilling in nature. You know how it goes. Sometimes you chill in nature for a while. Stop being so judgy. So he starts hearing his mother's voice in his head. He hears it, and he double bandages his face, and he says, "All right, I gotta go out into the world. It's out into the world time." So Jason starts Lord of the Ringsing it up until he finds his mother's body that's been buried somewhere by the cops. He finds it, and he finds the magic pendant that she had. And now he can hear her much, much better. He knows what's going on. And so, yeah, we're about to get to my big set piece. That is the first act. Now that Jason has the pendant, he can see what happened to his mother. He can see all the people that have wronged him. He knows where they are, and also he still has his magical animal powers. Okay, so he knows that the cops killed his mom. That's the first stop. This is going to be a big set piece. So here we go. He grabs a box, puts it up to the swamp where he's been living, and snakes just start pouring in. Just a big snake party. Just tons and tons of venomous snakes pour into this box. He closes it up and starts heading out. He found an axe somewhere. There's an axe lying around every 10 feet in the South if you live in the South. So anyway, he rolls up to the police station. First thing he does, he gets on the roof. This is still bandage face Jason. He gets on the roof, he finds the air vent, dumps all the snakes in. Next stop is he knocks out the power. Jason is great at knocking out the power in the other movies. So anyway, knocks out the power, and what happens next is we just get a great snakes on a plane in a police station where people are getting bit left and right, tons of people. And then, bam, Jason shows up, and he just starts hacking people to death. They're shooting him, bullets doing nothing. He's got magic raven powers. So yeah, bullets doing nothing. He's chopping people left and right. Tons of cops. All cops are bastards. Okay, killing all these cops, and bullets doing nothing. We're getting there. Finally, he finds the one that shot his mom. The main police chief. And yeah, he just splits him in half with the axe. And then a rookie runs in. A new rookie runs in, shoots Jason in the shoulder. Bullet affects him. Bullet actually hurts him. And he's pretty surprised because nothing else has. Then we learn, okay, the rules. If the person isn't a complete douchebag, they can hurt him. So anyway, Jason immediately turns around, chops the new rookie's head right off. All right, so this sequence has ended. Jason is gone, but some cops from another town show up. They finally get inside, and this is a shot I have been imagining for a long time. Is they walk in, and at the front desk, all the cops' heads are stacked in a pyramid with snakes all over them, crawling in their eyes and mouths, and it is a very gruesome situation. So that is my first act. We have a lot more to go. We're really far in. I don't usually make videos this long, but I'm going to go ahead and make this part one. I will hopefully finish it someday. If you're wondering if those kids on the bridge and the counselors are going to get theirs, of course not. Jason ends up becoming the president at the end. Okay. Yeah, I hope you stay for part 2. Thanks.